everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Grayson, and today I really don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to be doing this video as I go along. So, who knows what we'll see. Thank you all for joining today, and go on and click the thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel if you are new, and put those notifications on so you never miss a video. So let's go on and get into the video. So I've been talking a lot about the colonies that are doing well. In this video, I may even inspect some of them. But, of course, with all the good, there is the bad. Whenever I vlog my stuff, whenever I talk about what I'm doing, I also like to show some things that didn't go well. So, today that's what we're going to kind of do as well, along with some other things that are doing, that's going well. I try to vlog my experience and what and my honest takes on things. So, I try to be as honest as I can and as straightforward. So, this colony, unfortunately, is not doing well. There's actually still bees in here, right? But during winter, whenever I couldn't get any queens or anything like that, they lost their queen. So there's nothing I could do. They're trying to they're struggling, they're trying to stay alive, but there's really honestly no hope for this colony because I don't have any extra queens, they're not swarming. And even if I put a queen in this colony, it wouldn't really, I don't really think, there's really no hope for them. So, I'm not going to show y'all too much. There's not a whole lot of food left. They're just kind of dying out. But there's a laying worker, as you guys can see, a whole bunch of laying workers in this frame. Unfortunate to see. So, so this colony didn't die over winter. They just lost a queen. I watch multiple, people's videos and stuff, what they do with this. And most of them just, leave it alone. So that's what I'm doing. There's nothing I can really possibly do, especially that time. So this colony was actually a really nice looking colony whenever I inspected them, but they just didn't have a queen. The problem was that it was during winter, so there's no drones, other colonies are not raising drones. There's no way to get a mated queen back. Nowhere, nobody's selling queens this time, that time of the year whenever this colony lost a queen. As you can see, they're very small. It would be very, very tough and time consuming to, focus on this colony and try to get them back up to health. And these bees right here probably won't live another week or two. So, unfortunately, this colony is not going to make it, but we have some other colonies. So, even though this one is not going to make it, I still have other colonies that I can, build back up and make more colonies and replace this one. I don't know if y'all can hear me. It's very windy. It's extremely windy out here today. I really didn't know it was going to be this windy. But real quick, I kind of want to show y'all my setup for this year. I'm going to be making 5-frame splits, and what I usually like to do is have some boxes kind of already ready for the bees whenever I'm ready to. Y'all kind of saw last year, if y'all saw the video from last year, I did the same thing. And it just, gets things kind of ready. And like I said in my last video, I prioritize drawn comb, so we'll be using a lot of drawn comb this year from last year. Now a lot of this comb, as you can see, is of course not in the very best condition, but the bees can fix it up, and I'll monitor them and make sure that they don't have any problems, which I don't think they should. Just have some drawn comb here that they can fix up and they can work with. Now, so this right here will be sitting here until it's time to split. I don't have any more stands. I actually do have one ready to be put in the ground. I just don't have a post. I gotta get the post and put another stand in the ground. I put the other colonies on a pallet, so they should fit on the pallet. It'll get up to 8 hives, 8 to 10. I also have a bench where I can put 2 colonies there, so I should have enough room in this apiary to fill it up this year. We'll see how many we get up to. I just want 8, around 8, maybe 10 at the most this year, and then look to next year. This is another colony. This right here is honestly been a really good colony for a while. This colony is like 3 years old, and you guys can go back to some of my oldest videos if they're still up. Some of them I do on list, but I just put them unlisted just for me to see. But if there's any videos from that time, 3 years ago, you're gonna see this colony. And they've been alive for a while, and I'm pretty impressed with their queen. I haven't been in this colony for like 3 weeks or something. It's just been a while, you know. I open this colony from time to time and see how they're doing. But this colony right here has done great over the years. I really like their genetics. And through winter, they're always a small colony, but they always grow. They usually grow pretty decently sized in spring, later spring though. Sometimes they take longer to build up, and they'll look like they're not going to get too big, but then they'll actually get pretty big. And this right here gave me probably the most honey out of all of them last year. So let's see. This colony looks nice though. I see a whole bunch of bees. That's a nice frame of nectar that I fed, and some royal jelly. So let's see what else we got in here. Let's see if we got any brood. Hopefully they don't get too much filled up with the nectar I fed them. The sugar syrup. It's not nectar, it's sugar syrup. Sorry about that. See what we got in this frame. I think we got brood on here. I can just kind of tell that we got some larvae and brood. Yep. Look there, we got our queen. We actually got a queen laying right here. Caught in 4K. There's our queen laying a little egg. There's Miss Queen. You know what? I've always wanted to catch a queen laying an egg, and we weren't really able to catch the whole thing. Well, there we go. There she is right there. She's looking to lay one. See her right there? Laying an egg. That's pretty cool. I've always wanted to see a queen lay an egg and get it on camera. Miss Queen doing her thing. Laying eggs. So, don't think there's no need to go any deeper. She's doing her job. Laying eggs. Got a whole bunch of brood. So, this is the deep that we put on the colony. This colony right here, if y'all remember in the last video. Exactly 1 week ago. Might have been 1 week and a half. Today it is Thursday. Yesterday it was Wednesday. So this is 1 day, 1 week and 1 day with this deep being on here. I see some bees in the center here, but I really don't expect too much, bees up here just yet, because it usually takes them a little bit to get up here and start working on it. It takes them just a little bit, but I do see some bees on here, so that tells me they are working on it, and I guarantee you there'll be a little bit of some work being done. It'll take a little bit for it to be expanded everywhere else into this full deep. So it'll just take a little while. See if I see anything though. Well, yeah, there's a decent amount of bees here. So there is nectar on there, which is a good thing. So yeah, they're coming up here. They're working this. I see them being kind of working on some of this broken kind of comb. So that's fine. They're working on it. And I'm not in no rush for them to get up here. It's still very early to mid-March. I'm just going to quickly move this frame out of my way. This colony right here has been actually pretty well over winter. They stayed small and they didn't consume a whole bunch of food. So one good thing about these smaller colonies coming out of winter is that they do not take as much as the bigger ones do. The bigger ones took a lot more food in winter. These smaller ones that stay on like 5 to 3 frames just don't eat as much. But these smaller colonies are still looking very, very good. This is a very, very healthy frame of brood, lots of larvae, eggs. I know our queen's in here because I see a whole bunch of eggs and larvae. So that's our first sign. Lots of food. Larvae. There's some A little bit of nectar on the edges from what I just fed. I've been feeding a lot recently. Just trying to build these colonies up as much as I can. My last video was kind of focused on building up colonies, and this one isn't really around there. It hasn't actually honestly been a whole lot this week to video. This is actually my first time coming out here and doing something, so this Saturday's video, I just don't know what I'm going to do. It's probably not going to be a whole lot. I might do a lot more than just this, talk about what I'm going to be doing. And honestly, this colony, these smaller colonies, I may just use for some honey production, let them build, get some honey, but I'm still honestly not so sure yet. It just really depends on what happens and what they do. Lots of brood. I see some drones as well. They're starting to raise drones. I don't have any drone frames in this exact colony right now. Look there. I was actually on a live stream. We were talking about, you know, this, me putting in supers. We're talking about drone comb and me putting some of these super frames, and I mentioned that I put supers in the deep sometimes just to let them draw this drones, and there's drones right there. They're raising drones, which is a good sign, telling me that this colony is healthy. Like I've always said, whenever they're raising drones, is a good sign. I mean, they have the ability to do so. This colony is still strong. I mean, this colony is strong, but they are much more smaller than a lot of my other colonies, which isn't anything bad. I'm just kind of continuing the work on building these colonies up. I plan to either today or tomorrow put some more sugar syrup in this colony. And look, they're starting to come over here, and I see some eggs, some larvae on this side right here. Not a whole lot of bees, as you can see, but there's still some brood and a lot of eggs on the side. I kind of think I missed my queen. Honestly, wasn't looking for the queen. I was just looking for like eggs and larvae and brood, because I know we got a queen in here. Just got to be careful, because sometimes if she's not on the frame, she could be on the sides. We got to be really careful. Yeah, this is a nice looking colony. They're just a little bit more smaller, but once this brood starts to hatch, they'll get a little bit bigger by each time. And honestly, right now, I wouldn't be really mad if they stayed, you know, in just a single, because I got 2 other colonies that are in doubles that will get me to 8 colonies where I need to be. So I wouldn't be mad at anything if this colony didn't get up to double deeps or anything, or even a single at that point. Just want them to get kind of strong this year, let them do their thing, kind of build with the other colonies, 2 other stronger ones. Or I wouldn't say this colony is still strong. They still have a lot of bees, and they're still very, very healthy. But the other colonies are just a touch bigger than this colony. And, you know, like I said, that isn't a bad thing or anything. It just means that they're bigger. But this colony is this colony is on their way to being a pretty decent sized colony this year. I mean, my other colony was actually kind of looking like this, like around this size. They're a touch bigger, like maybe 6 frames of bees. This is more like 5 or 4. This looks like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 frames of bees, 4.5, somewhere around that amount. But they'll surprise you on how fast they grow. Like this colony right now kind of looks a little bit more smaller, but knowing these bees on how hard they work, they can get bigger pretty fast. Again, it's very windy today. I apologize if y'all can't hear me. It's probably very bad audio, but I want to show y'all real quick right over here on our driveway. Whenever the privet comes in, which is our first flow, the privet will be, usually it's all over these bushes, trees right here. All along our little driveway, all of this will be covered in little white flowers. So as you can see, there are no flowers yet to be seen on these trees, on these limbs. Same over here as well. As you can see, they're usually all over here as well, and Not just on our driveway, multiple other spots will see some privet, but there is redbud. In our last video, I showed y'all a little bit of what a redbud looks like, and the bees are all over that. That's the thing, that's where a good bit of the pollen is coming from. But there are probably some other flowers that are blooming right now that they're bringing in, but it's mainly pollen that's coming in. Don't know what that is over there, but it looks like there is some white flowers there. I really don't think that's privet, but it might be some other flowers. Now again, I will mention, like I mentioned in the last video, I am no flower expert, so I can't tell you what a flower or exact flower is. I can tell y'all what I've heard and what I know for a fact, but I can't tell y'all all these little flowers, what they're called. But yeah, usually on that little driveway up here, a whole bunch of white flowers will be blooming, and the bees will be all over it. That's our first flow. Then the tallow will come in. I usually don't see any tallow around our driveway. I'm sure it's out there in other spots that, you know, I don't know of. I'm gonna try to kind of keep up with it and see if I can see it anywhere. But from what I know, there's not really any on our property that I've seen in the past. But usually, like I said, the driveway will be full of privet, which is our first flow. The second flow will be tallow. I usually don't see the tallow around here, but who knows? We might see it this year, but I know there's some tallow trees out there. It's just not on our property. It is Friday morning today here in southeastern Alabama, and I heard some bees flying around in the front yard, and look at all these bees in this like little fire thing that's used for winter. There's a whole bunch of bees flying around. It's early in the morning. It's like 10 o'clock, or that might not be really early, but my shadow's in the way. But look at all these bees drinking some water. They're flying all around me, but I'm not really nervous of them. They shouldn't bother me as long as I don't bother them or anything. They're just chilling out, drinking some water. It's actually was pretty cool this morning. Look there, there's a yellow jacket. It's trying to drink some water. Maybe it won't mess with the bees. And it doesn't really look like it is, so. Yep, a lot of bees flying this morning. It actually got pretty cold last night, 36 or something. But even though it was pretty cold, there's a whole bunch of bees flying around this morning, drinking some water. I love watching bees. I'm sure y'all do too. So, it is Friday morning, and I did most of everything yesterday, but it got kind of cold last night. I don't have any intention of inspecting bees anytime this weekend or anything, but everybody's looking good. There's a whole bunch of bees active today, which is pretty good. Yeah, I see a whole bunch of bees out here flying in and out, so doing their things. Like I said in all my videos, it's going to be very, very close to split time. I'm really ready anytime whenever we start making swarm cells. I'm just going to let these bees kind of build up a little bit more. Last week, y'all saw my video. I was kind of talking about building up bees. I'm still doing that. I'm still in the process every single day, doing the best that I possibly can to build up these bees, to get them ready for splits. Get some strong splits. I don't want any weak splits. I already experienced in the past what weak splits can do to you, and it's not fun, I can tell you that. But just gonna keep some very, very strong splits, 5 frames full of bees. And I had a question on my live stream kind of asking how many brood frames am I going to put in one split? And the answer to that question is going to be really honestly hard to say exactly how many frames of brood is going to go into one split, because I have no idea how many brood is going to be in the hive. Of course, you know, I know this colony, the biggest one right over here in the background right there, that one right there has like 7 frames of brood. Like, pretty good colony, like 7 frames of brood, and in the top box has like 1 frame of brood. So that would all equal into 2 frames of brood each right now. So I'm going to let them get up into the top box and lay a lot more brood, build up more brood up in the top box, and we'll see. Ideally, I'd like 3 frames of brood in one nuke, in one split. And then what I'd want to do is then drop those swarm cells in each one that doesn't have a queen. Then, of course, you have one split with the queen. So, a whole bunch of bees flying around here. I'm just kind of ignoring them. If you're out in the bee, a lot of times they want to try to sting you. And as long as you don't really mess with them and bother them, you'll be alright. So, that's my plan. To answer your question, I would ideally like 3 frames of brood in a colony and then some honey to get them by. And then I'm going to feed them a good bit. Then I'm also going to set some bees on that pallet right here. I am okay putting them on pallets. I want to set out some more stands that I can use and set some colonies on. I really want to do that. I have 2 open stands, one that didn't make it and one that died last year. One that didn't make it through winter and one that died last year. So that's kind of how that went. I have 2 extra stands. I also have that right there as well. That little stool I kind of mentioned earlier. I've set bees on that before, and that's kind of where I've done it before, but I don't know. I might. If I don't have enough room, I'll set some on there for the time being in a nuke box and then figure out later on. I just need to put out some more stands. I did build that one stand. I got to get the post, and I plan to do more, so maybe I'll do it on video. So we'll see. Take it for a grain of salt. I really don't know just yet, but, you know, things can change quickly, that's for sure. You know, I want to say that if you're listening to me with my plans, just know that it can change drastically. A plan can change quickly in beekeeping. You may have one plan to do certain things like I do. I have a plan that I want to do, that I want to accomplish, but sometimes those plans change. So I always have a plan B and plan C. And every day I'm thinking of other plans. I'm not going to mention here because that's going to take forever. But I'm always thinking of different plans that I can do if this one doesn't work, right? So, I mean, hey, you know, it's always good to have another plan, and a lot of times you're going to have another plan. If not, then you're going to be running around panicking, trying to figure out what you're going to do if your first plan doesn't work. So, I try not to do that. I guess you could call that proactive rather than being reactive. I've done that a whole bunch of times where I had one plan, and then I couldn't accomplish a plan, and I started being reactive. So I plan not to do that this year. I hope to be a little bit more proactive with what I do. Let y'all come along with the journey of my bee operation, and we'll see how everything goes. I'm not sure, but I think everything looks like it's going smoothly so far. All 4 colonies are still looking very good, and I'm happy with the way things are going, and I'm also happy with how the bees are looking. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. I sure did. Wasn't really action-packed full, but there was still some good stuff I was able to get on camera. Was able to catch a queen laying an egg. I can upload that as a short on my short, so watch out for that if y'all want to see the short version, you know. But other than that, wasn't a whole lot, but was able to show y'all how my setup's going to be with the hives. That's kind of how I always do it. If I'm going to do a 5-frame split, I'm going to put some drawn comb on the edges, because I really do highly prioritize drawn comb. Now, if I don't have any drawn comb, I do have some foundation that I can put in there that they can draw out. But if I have some drawn comb, I'm going to use it, and I'm going to use it in a good way. So that's kind of going to be my plan. Soon, it's going to be split time. Before we know it, a lot of y'all have been watching the videos the last couple of weeks. I've been kind of doing a week-by-week vlog. Yesterday was Thursday. Today it is Friday. I recorded most of this video yesterday, and I'm just doing this outro right now. So, I really appreciate y'all watching. Please click the thumbs up button, and y'all have a great day.